What's going on, everyone? So, Gabe Vincent has been atrocious this season. I mean, he's literally been the worst player in all of basketball. Not my opinion, literal fact. And even though the game yesterday against the Utah Jazz was terrible, right? Gabe Vincent actually had a good game. Wasn't great, wasn't elite, wasn't anything like that, but he actually had a good game. And I have been very critical of Gabe Vincent. I have talked about how trash he's been. I've talked about how badly we need to get off of him. We still do need to get off of him. But credit is where credit's due, right? I believe I'm fair in criticizing. I've criticized pretty much everyone on this team at some point, including LeBron and AD and Reeves and D'Lo and you name it, right? But Gabe Vincent's a guy that, we had always hoped that he'd have a game consistently. That's the key, consistently, like the Utah game. Right? He didn't have this like crazy stellar standout game, right? Gave you 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 or 5 from the floor, 2 or 3 from 3, 1 steal, no turnovers, right? But that's fine, right? Like that's all you're looking for him to do. Right? I've talked about it from the moment we signed him. Right? I talked about Dennis Schroeder is the higher ceiling guy. He's the guy that, he can give you 25 and 8 on any given night, but they can be inconsistent. You don't know at times although this season Dennis Schroeder has been fantastic for the Nets, but talking about, Lakers, right? It was just like one game, Dennis Schroeder give you like 22 on, 11 to 12 from the floor or whatever. And then next game, he's like 1 of 12 and he's got like 4 points and like 2 assists. And you're just like, dude. Where I was like, okay, at least with Gabe Vincent, because I was going off of what he did in Miami. Obviously, we didn't know what he was going to do with the Lakers, but I was like, at least with Gabe Vincent, he's a guy that should be able to kind of come in and consistently tack away, right? Like, give you, 10, 3, and 3, something like that, right? Like, but he'll give you that essentially every night, like clockwork, be point of attack, play some defense, right? But not a guy that, he might have his random, 18-point game here and there, but for the most part, he's going to be, 10 points a game, something like that. Basically, his stat line that he gave us against the Jazz. That's where I thought he would be on a regular basis, right? Obviously, good games happen, bad games happen, but, 8 out of 10 games, he's giving you 8 to 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and then he has, the bad game where he just can't buy a bucket. And then he has the game where he gives you, 15 or 18 or something like that, right? Because he's hot and can't miss. Like, that's what I wanted to see. And then we didn't get to see him play the first year. And it's like, here we go. Kendrick Nunn situation all over again. But then it was like, okay, now we have JJ Redick. And I think JJ can actually do something with Gabe Vincent, right? But Gabe Vincent did himself zero favors. And JJ keeps going with him, which I get. It's like, you only have so many options out there on the basketball court. But it's just like, the dude has been bad. And I get, you're hoping that he can kind of figure it out, kind of get into a rhythm, kind of, find his stride a little bit. And he just hasn't been able to find it yet. I mean, this is the best game he's had as a Laker so far. Outside of like a preseason game last year where he had, 18 or something like that. And he was just like lights out. And it was like, oh, see, this is what Gabe could give you. And then he just was not that anywhere close, right? But it also took him 32 minutes to do so, which isn't good either, right? The question is, can he do what he did in 15, 20 minutes, right? Because if he can, then that's great. Again, no one's asking him to be this, 20 and 10 guy. Just come in, play your role, play some defense, knock down the open shot, and just be a key contributor. Like I said, if he could give us 8, 3, and 3, perfect. Right? Again, he's your 7th, 8th, 9th guy. Right? Like, you're just looking for him to come in and give you some consistency off the bench every night. Right? Not everyone has to be a 20 to 25 point a game scorer. It'd be nice if he was like, insane and gave you a 15 or something like that a night. But, I mean, even for his career, You're talking about a guy that's a career, like 7 to 8 points a game type guy, right? His 4 years in Miami, he was 7.7 point average, right? So you're talking 8 points a game. He gave you in Miami 2.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, right? So it was like, again, 8-3-3. If he could be 8-3-3 or 8-2-2, give you a steal, give you half a block, and just be a key contributor. I mean, he's never been this like lights out efficient 3-point shooter. He had his best season shooting the 3 ball was 2021, 2022, in which he shot 36.8%. Like, that's what you were hoping for. You were hoping that, like, comes in, be like a 36 to 37% 3-point shooter, because he's historically like a 32%. I mean, career, he's 32.6. So you were hoping, like, okay, maybe he could have a good year this year, playing alongside, big difference playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis compared to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, right? Like, not that they aren't great players, but they're not LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So it's like, okay, if Gabe come in, slot in, he's going to get better looks than he's ever gotten. Right? He's coming off the bench. He was just in the finals as their third best player on a regular basis. He's a guy that elevates come playoff time, right? Like you looked at the season in which he played and had that standout. He went and elevated to 12.7 points per game, 3.5 assists, still got your rebound and a half, a full steal, half a block. He shot 43.2% from 2-point range, which isn't great, but compared to his normal standard, and then shot 38% from 3 on 6.1 attempts. It was like, that's the Gabe we need. If we can get that Gabe that helped Miami get on a final run, right? Lakers might actually do something, right? Lakers might actually make some noise. They might actually be a legit, just type of player in team. And he's just giving you nothing, right? And it's just like, you're hopeful, or, maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but like, I'm hopeful that, like, okay, this means that Gabe Vincent can finally start to come into his own. Maybe this is the game he kind of needed to kind of get rid of the demons, so to speak, right? So he could kind of finally find his stride. Got to see the 3 ball drop a couple times. Got to make a couple plays, right? Like, that's what I'm hopeful for. Because like you see it all the time with players, right? 1 minute they're terrible, and then they have that game, right? And they things just open up for them, and they're able to knock down some shots, and they're able to do some things, and then it's just like, okay, I can do this. I can get this done. And then boom, here's another one. Here's another game. Here's another game. And they start putting games together. That's what my hope is. That, like, this is the beginning to him finally coming around. Maybe wishful thinking. I may be holding my breath. But again, I'm not asking. I don't think it's unrealistic to just be like, dude, just give us like 6 to 8 points, grab a couple rebounds, grab a couple assists, and we're good. Right? Like, we don't, like, no one's asking him to be this like insane elite player. Right? No one's asking him to be this like 15 point a game guy. Right? Just come in and just play a serviceable role. That's all I want to see from him. And if he could do that, that would just be just chef kiss at that point. Right? Like, because our bench has been terrible. Terrible. And the only way we're really going to be able to turn that bench around is if guys start picking up, outside of trades, of course. Right? You get a couple trades that could change things, but until some trades actually happen and get done, you're relying on like D'Lo to figure it out, which he looked good the 2 previous games. Right? We'll see if he's back tonight. And then, like, again, Max Christie to start figuring some stuff out, which he starts to look like he's taking some strides, right? Okay, cool. And then it's like, okay, well, what else? Okay, well, we need, like Gabe Vincent, if he can come in and play a role and give you some production. Okay, perfect, right? Like, and if you have 3, 4, 5 guys off the bench chipping in and giving you, 8 points a game, and then if D'Lo can give you, 12 to 15, not even like 17 or anything, just like 12 to 15, all of a sudden you look up and it's like, wow, our bench is actually good, right? We're actually giving, 40 points a game off the bench. Like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Gabe to just be another piece. Stop getting beat every possession, right? Play some defense, hit the open shot on occasion, right? Like, he's not a guy that's going to take 40 shots a game. Like, no one's asking him to do that. No one's expecting him to be a high volume guy on this team, right? His role is to just, again, be that point of attack guy, take a handful of shots, and hit them with some efficiency. He is averaging 3.5 field goals a game. Like, he's like, he could make every shot and he'd only give you, even if they're all threes, 12 points. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, if he could give you, 2 or 3 shots, but also a lot of it has just been his lack of shooting. Right? He hasn't, like, how many times do we watch him just completely pass up attempts? Like, that doesn't help. If he could just actually, shoot the ball, like, even JJ Redick's called him out and been like, dude, like, I wish a guy didn't play 18 minutes and not take a single shot. But how many times do we watch this guy just give us complete goose eggs across the board? It's like, come on, dude. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that this could be the beginning of Gabe kind of turning things around? Do you think, like, nah, he's hopeless? Again, I'm trying to be optimistic here, right? I don't want to... The better Gabe is, the better the Lakers are, right? If Gabe can be just competent, right? Like, the Lakers are just going to be in better shape. But, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know either way down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.